All right, guys, I'm gonna have you all come over for a little bit. We're gonna stop planning for a little bit just to go over some research that I've done with our RTI programs. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next slide. The PLC meeting today for grade level is going to be, we worked individually planning, but now we're gonna come in, we're gonna look at this action research project that we did. I'm gonna talk about my personal vision statement, also talk a little bit about the teacher leadership program that I'm in at UC, and we're going to work through supporting references and the research I gathered and the interventions that I put through my kids in my second hour, and how well that intervention worked, and what modifications I had to do it. Afterwards, we're going to go back to reviewing common assessments from the district and put together our 2-week plans for our class. We can skip over the table of contents because we're going to run through this pretty quickly. All right, so the meeting norms for the math department were to be here on time with materials if I asked you to bring any. Today we didn't have any materials to bring, so everybody met that meeting norm. That we build on each other's ideas, that we continue to be constructive with everybody's ideas that are brought up at the meeting, and to be engaged in everybody's conversation. We're also going to take notes when necessary, and limited technology use if you don't have to use your cell phone, try not to. Our department mission statement in the math department is to use data to maximize student learning and create connections between math and the real world. And that's something that we came up with at the beginning of the year. We revisit that every meeting, so I know that doesn't look new. Just wanted to revisit that before we moved into this. Maybe we can reflect back onto that at the end of the presentation. My personal vision statement is to create opportunities for students to learn mathematics in a fun and engaging way while practicing real-world applications in the content. So I try to integrate as many real-world applications as I can. When it comes to fractions, you put pizza into it, or real-world word problems when it comes to proportions. The action research that I did, I worked with a few kids that I had in response to intervention class, and we worked on verbal praise. So I wanted to see how well the students responded to verbal praise and applying themselves to the work that we're doing in class. So in the 5-week period, the initial intervention that I put in was verbal praise, and that was for both effort and achievement that they had reached. We did that for all 5 weeks after the initial no interventions that were measured. The 5th week, I added an extrinsic motivator of candy to see if that would make a significant impact, positive impact as well. And we'll look at the data and we'll see how the students responded. The supporting research on this shows that both verbal praise and extrinsic motivators greatly positive impact student achievement overall. So regardless of subject, content, if the teacher's excited, the student's excited. If the teacher praises them, it does nothing but heighten the ability for the student to learn and the likability for them in the classroom. My problem was that in my RTI class, it was hard to motivate the kids. They're in that class because they're in the bottom 40th percentile in math, and the reason that they're in there is they struggle. So when they get the content, they struggle, and it's hard for them to have that challenging aspect when they have, for the last 7 years, they've had that challenge. So to refresh that, mentality of you can do it. You can learn still. We're going to go back and fill gaps that you've been missing over the last few years. That was challenging for me. It's hard for me to get them to realize that this is attainable. So my strategy was, like I said already, verbal praise. We take a test weekly basis, and I was going to praise specifically growth. And when they were working on their assignments, how well they were working. Like, thank you for doing a great job today. That was how I initially started. So the first 2 weeks we had no intervention. That was because there was no growth to be celebrated. That was the first test they took, was their benchmark, and then the second week was their first test that actually would have shown growth. And I didn't raise that growth until after the test. So after that test is when my intervention started. So I have 2 weeks of data that are just like baseline data. The first intervention was between after the week 2 test all the way up to the week 4 test. That was verbal praise, like I said before, for both the assignments during the week and for Ames Web. And then the second intervention was the last week, and that's when we started to use candy as an extrinsic motivator. The research also showed that had a positive impact. And we actually defined growth for the kids to make sure that they understood what that meant. And for growth in my classroom, that was beating your highest score on Ames Web. So Ames Web is a norm-based test that's given weekly, about 30 questions, has about a few multiple choice or open answer questions. It's a pretty quick time test, it's 2 minutes. This is my research, and I'm going to break it down for you a little bit. I know you can't see the numbers from where you're at, and I can get you a copy of that if you'd like to. You can see my baseline here. You can see some consistent growth here, and a lot of the kids showed growth. I had a couple kids that did not. But from week 1 to week 5, we had growth across the board. Did we have some kids go down at times? Sure. But we saw that verbal praise definitely had an impact from week to week, and even the candy part, it didn't stretch it anymore. The growth wasn't exponentially more, except for student 2 and student 3. So those 2 students, the candy potentially made a bigger difference. So the summary data is what I just went over with you, that the interventions had a positive impact. Now what the data doesn't show is the qualitative data that I've collected, and there was no slide for this. The students were working harder on their test when praise was given. They worked harder on their assignments when praise was given. Candy did not really affect, we did not give candy for daily assignments, but we did give candy for their Ames Web. But when verbal praise was given, qualitatively, just looking at the kids, you could tell that the kids were more engaged in their activities. The reflection here is that I need to certainly take personal praise into my other classrooms that I teach, and that I've got to value that, and I've got to find ways to put that in and make sure kids are motivated. And extrinsic motivators like candy or free time or something that something more concrete. I also need to put that into some of my classrooms and make sure that that's working as well. The next steps, analyze data further, continue to collect more data through a longer period of time. The next part, I really want to make sure that this will last more than 5 weeks. I want to know if it'll last for 18 weeks. Do the students get tired of verbal praise and not see that as valuable of a reward? I need to provide resources for all my department RTI teachers and make sure that they're able to give these interventions to their classrooms, since we've seen success in them. And we need to continue to add additional resources to make sure that the students improve at this rate. So if this intervention decides not to work, I want to add a different intervention and continue to shape the classroom around the data that we collect. I think that's it. Are there any questions?